What's your ethnicity?
I'm white.
Okay. So yes, I believe in God. Absolutely.
Why are you wondering what my ethnicity is?
No reason. I asked a lot of people their ethnicity. You're still on the phone though, so it's ain't no big deal. What's your question or comment?
Like what kind of religion are you?
I'm not a religion. We're Israelites. So we teach the truth of the Bible. We teach that everything the white man gave us was a lie about the Bible. Okay, so let me ask you a question, right? Because you said you're white, and this would be a good. Let's see if you'll tell the truth and be better than your ancestors, right? According to the Bible, would Jesus look like your kind of people or my kind of people?
He was white in the Bible, yes.
You said so.
I have no clue. But I have no clue what he actually was, though.
Okay, so when you say
I'm just saying in the Bible,
I get you right. White. So can you point me to where in the Bible it says he's white? And then I'll point you, if you can show me where in the Bible, and then I can point you to where he looks like somebody like me. And we could do it together.
I'm grabbing my Bible. Okay.
No problem.
I think I remember the verse. I don't remember.
Okay. The verse that I'm going to is Revelations 1:13. That's where I'm going. 2 points. I'm going to go to Revelations 1:13, and I'm going to read 13, 14, and 15. And then in the book of Daniel, chapter 10, verses 5 and 6. While you get your scriptures, I'm going to read mine, and I'm going to show you why I say he looks like somebody like me. And it says, this is Revelations 1:13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with the garment down to the foot, and girded about the paps with the golden girdle. Son of Man, of course, is Jesus Christ. Verse 14, it says, his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as the flame of fire. When it says his head and his hairs were white like wool, it's talking about his head on his head, the hair on his head and the hair on his face. So his hair and his beard were white like wool. Wool, white is the color, wool is the texture. White people don't have that type of textured hair. So you can't say, so far it's not looking white to me. Then verse 15, it says, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in the furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. So his feet was like fine brass, which is brown, and if you burn it in the furnace, it gets extremely dark. So from what I just read to you, is it describing Jesus as looking like your kind of people or my kind of people?
A little bit of both, but it says that he's
like Michael Jackson, like don't matter if he's black or white. Say that one more time.
It's I don't remember what verse it is, but he says he's like Middle Eastern or something. It like describes him pretty much as Middle Eastern.
Is Middle Eastern
any race?
Is Middle Eastern, would Middle Eastern look like your people or my people?
It's more of like a Mexican light skin kind of.
Okay. A Mexican light skin does not look like your people either.
Doesn't look like yours either though, right?
Yeah, because we come in many colors. You got dark Mexicans, you got light skinned Mexicans. Just like Middle Easterns, you have dark Middle Easterns, you have light skin. Hold on one second. Carla, hold on. Oh, they hung up. I'm sorry. But what we do know is that there is no light-skinned white people. You just white. You like white people. Y'all might have a slight tan, like Sicilians might have a slight more right. But Christ didn't look like that. The scriptures say. So, for example, do y'all have woolly hair?
No.
Yeah, I do though. My people do. So He don't look like. Do you think so? Does if the Bible says he has white woolly hair, and the picture that they have of Jesus, is it white and woolly, or is it white and stringy?
White and woolly.
Hold on 1 second, caller. You said the picture that they show of Jesus Christ, is it white and woolly, or is it blonde and straight?
Blonde and straight.
Right. So wouldn't you say that that's a lie?
I mean, yeah, but why does his race really matter, though? You know.
Okay, here's how you know to your people that his race mattered, because you guys made him look like you, even though he doesn't look like you in the Bible. So you can't ask me why does his race matter, because his race matters to y'all. If his race didn't matter, y'all would have put the image out of what he actually looked like. You know why? Do you know why you didn't put the image out of a black Jesus? Because y'all would never serve a nigger God. You would never serve a black king. Jesus being the son of God, if he's black, then that means God is also like his son. And y'all would never serve that. Y'all only gonna serve a white God. Y'all wouldn't serve no black God.
I'll serve any race. It don't matter.
Excuse me.
No, you gotta wait. You gotta wait, dude. To the other person on the line, you cannot talk while I'm talking to the other caller. You gotta stay muted.
I understand, sir.
Thank you. So now,
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So now, when we say that the white man lied on the Bible, you just agreed that the white man lied. The only thing you said was, yeah, but why does it matter what race he is? But so you do agree that they lied on the Bible, right?
I mean, honestly, I don't know. I would have to look more hardcore into it, like you have, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So I could figure out what the real truth is.
You know the word nigga is in the Bible.
What?
The word nigga is in the Bible.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. And I'm going to show you. It was nigga, and it was talking about the Israelites. So this is the book of Acts, chapter 13:1. It says, now there was in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers as Barnabas and Simeon that were called Niger, Niger. Now, when you look up that word,
it's not saying like actual.
I'm gonna help you out. So now, when you look up that word Niger, Niger, it's Niger, means black. Have you ever looked up the word nigger and its origin?
No, not like the equity.
Right. The word nigger in its origin comes from the Latin word niger, which means black. So when they called the Israelites niger, they were calling them black. So you can't say the Israelites is white. That's another lie. They said the Israelites is white. They ain't calling no. When outside of a black person or somebody in slang in this day and age calling the Israelite, excuse me, a white woman or white person a nigga, you don't call that. Hold on 1 second. Caller, hold on. All right, I have 2 other callers. Is there anything else? What's your name?
Me?
Yeah.
My name's Caden.
Caden?
I have one more question.
Okay, no problem.
Why are you doing that?
Why am I doing what?
What you're doing right now.
Zephaniah 2:1 says, gather yourselves together, O nation not desired, talking about the children of Israel. So as we discover our true identity, it is my job for the black people and Hispanics, so for the black Hispanics and Native Indians that have been oppressed by white people so long under the guise of Christianity, under the guise of slavery, under all those, it's high time to wake them up out of sleep and teach them the truth. So if they're going to believe in Jesus Christ, they should know who he is. In Hebrew, his name is Yahawashi. So it's my job to debunk and destroy all the lies that your ancestors told. That's why I'm doing it.
Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you. No problem. You have a great day.
You too.
All right. Next, we got Scott Cole.
Hello, sir. How are you doing?
I'm all right. Yourself? What's your name? Where you calling from? I'm going to make a clip out of that, y'all. Uh-huh.
My name is Ryan, sir. I'm coming out of Tampa, Florida.
All right. We got a question or comment?
I want to let you know first and foremost. Sir?
Hold on, before you say that. We got 452 people in here and only 70 likes, y'all. 452 people. We can't get 150 likes, black people, Hispanic people. Even the white people call in. Y'all can't thumb up the video. And for anybody that asks why I say that, and why any person that's going live say to thumb up the video, because it pushes the algorithm on YouTube. And YouTube is extremely algorithm based. So when you want people to watch, you tell them to like the video, because the more likes, it gives impressions to YouTube to say, okay, let people hear this. So with 400 and something people in here, I mean, the likes, it don't cost a like don't even cost money. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
It's all right. First and foremost, I just want to let you know I love you.
All right,
white
brother.
Man.
I'm glad you. All right. Wait. Before you go, we got to walk this dog. Hold on. We got back-to-back white people. He said, "What's your name again?"
Ryan.
Ryan. So Ryan is calling in, and he tells me that he loves me. Sound like some Christopher Columbus stuff going on. Because I remember. Hold on 1 second. I think they. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Henry. I'm from North Carolina.
All right, hold on 1 second. All right, so I just want to recap. So now we got two white people. I remember when Columbus was real peaceable to the Native Indians, and we see what happened. So come on, Ryan, what you got? Wait, hold on, wait. Byron, now you said you love him too. This is a white man you talk about you love, just for the record. Oh, no, she probably talk about me. I'm sorry, I take that back. Go ahead, Ryan.
Sure, and I'm sure Christopher Columbus has some ulterior motives, but brother, I come to you not with ulterior motives. I come to you in peace, in love. And I look at you no different, regardless of what you have said or what you say, than I would look at anybody. Because you are a soul who Christ died for. You see, I think oftentimes we like to find our identification in things like race or culture. It's sad, because these are tools of division used against us.
When you say tools of division, in the Bible, did God divide the nations?
Yes, he did.
So would that be division?
God divided the nations, but we are in a dispensation called the dispensation of grace. And now Jew and Gentile are like.
No, okay, I get where you're going. So in your mind, you believe that Jews would be Israelites and Gentiles would be non-Israelites, and they all can get this grace.
I do understand.
Oh wait, hold on 1 sec. Hold on. Caller, hold on a second. All right, so I got how many people? Yeah, just hold on a second. You are the fourth person in the queue. So I'm talking to Ryan now. And I got three other people on the line. So Ryan, because I have other people that are waiting, if we can just kind of make it a little concise and get straight to the point. Are you saying that like a God loves everybody, we could all come back to G? Like, what is it that you would like to discuss? I love everybody. Somebody got to mute me in the background.
Brother, I would like to discuss love and the fact that you
okay, but what does that mean? Somebody has to mute me in a poor man's Jeep. Mute your phone, because I can hear myself in the background. All right, go ahead, Ryan.
Sure. 1 John 4.
1 John 4.
Beloved, let us love one another. Love is of God. Everyone who loves is born of God and knows God.
Right.
He who does not love does not know God.
Mm-hmm.
God is love.
Mm-hmm.
In this, the love of God was manifested toward us.
Mm-hmm.
And God has sent his only begotten Son into the world, that we might live through him.
Mm-hmm. But that's not for you, though. That's not for white people, though. That's only for Israelites. Like, this love that God has is only for Israelites. Yeah, like Romans 9:13 says, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
So is it God that doesn't love me, or you that doesn't love me?
God don't love you. You're Esau. You're Edomites. God doesn't love Edomites. That's what I just said. Romans 9:13. Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. Esau is the progenitor of the white race of people. Like, you know how you call yourselves Caucasian?
I call myself a child of God, sir.
You might call yourself a child of God, but the white race call themselves Caucasian because they come from the Caucasus Mountain. That's where Esau came from. Esau.
I don't identify with being white, whether I was white or brown or black.
Okay, you kind of flipping now because the first thing you said was, I love you and I'm white. Now you just said, I don't consider myself white. This is why we call a white man a devil, because he lies. You just lied. You just said you don't consider yourself white, but did you not come on this line and call yourself white?
Okay, I am white, but I do not find my identification in my race. I find my identification in the body of Christ.
Well, Christ never lied. Christ never lied. And Christ only came. Christ said, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That's what Christ said.
Did Christ not also say to love your enemies as you would love yourself?
So
did he also not to say that if your enemy beckons you to walk 1 mile with him, walk with him a mile?
So are you acknowledging that you're an enemy? Wait, hold on. So are you acknowledging that you're an enemy?
To you, I am, but I don't understand why.
There's two types of enemies in the Bible. When Christ said, love your enemy, that's in parallel to Leviticus, the 19th, I believe the 18th chapter, when it talks about loving your brother. That's what he's talking about. Then there's another enemy in Luke 19:27, when Christ said, but those my enemies, which not that I shall rule over them, bring it hither that I may slay them. Then there's another enemy. That's heathens. That's everybody else. So the enemy that Israel had at the time when Christ made that statement was Northern Kingdom, Southern Kingdom, Jews that was in Jerusalem that would not accept the Jews that was outside of Jerusalem. That's the enemy that he was talking about. No different than today when we talk about the enemies within our own community, the black on black crime that happens. Right. That's the enemy. All right. Now that's going to be the last question, only because I have 3 other people that have been waiting patiently, which I appreciate, and other callers calling in. I appreciate the call.
Well, I love you, brother, and I hope you find Jesus one day.
No problem. I do not love you, and God doesn't love you. The next person in the queue, it doesn't give your number, so I can't say your. Let me see if I click it. So I have to say the name. So it says Purtle Christian. I think that's what it says.
Yeah, that's me.
All right, hold on 1 second. Caller, hold on. All right, go ahead, Purtle Christian. What's your name? Because that's what it says on my ID.
Christian.
Oh, okay, Christian, I got you. You got a question or comment?
Yeah, so my real quick question is in 2 Chronicles 18, 20 through 21, is that lying spirit, is that the devil?
No, that lying spirit, you talk about when the Lord said, who's gonna make Ahab fall?
Yes.
No, that's just a spirit. Like like some angels are mentioned. Like, some angels have names. Like I believe like Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael. I believe those are the angels that are mentioned. Of course, Satan is mentioned, right? But there are other angels that are not mentioned. Their names are not mentioned. Just like there's other spirits that are not mentioned. So that spirit didn't have a name because it doesn't say a name in the scripture. So you can't say that that's Satan.
Okay. So it's just a spirit.
Yep. It's just a spirit. Yep.
Okay. All right, then I appreciate it.
No problem. All right. Caller, hold on. All right. Next in the queue is Kathy Gillette. That's all it says. I apologize if it doesn't have the number. Sometimes they have the number, sometimes they have the name. So Kathy Gillette, are you there?
Yeah, it's Henry. I'm Henry.
Okay, go ahead.
I actually talked to you a little bit a while back, Tazari. I forgot what we were discussing. I think you were on JP's channel about a week ago or so.
Yeah.
And we had talked about Gentiles and Jews and how you come to the conclusion that Gentiles and Jews, or sometimes the Gentiles are actually Jews that are just being referred to differently.
Yeah, Gentiles are Israelite. Yeah, Gentiles are Israelite. Right. Yep.
Yeah. So we had that discussion, and that was pretty good. But was recently listening to another live stream that you had, and it was like, I forgot what it was, but there was a guy, he kept saying, he was saying like a bunch of times. He's like, but he was asking you about like, what was it? It was the Revelation 1:15, right? You just talked about it in just a couple calls ago. And
okay. Right.
Yeah. So he asked you about, I don't remember exactly how he framed it, but he asked you some question about like the skin color of Jesus Christ. And now I don't deny that Jesus Christ was black, or at the very least, I don't see how he would be white. I don't see any good argument for that.
Right.
But when I saw it, I think he had mentioned to you that someone had talked to him about it and said that the other definition of the word that was used, I believe it was.
Oh, you're talking about burn. Right.
Yeah,
right.
He said that it could have meant glowing, right?
Right.
Now
right.
my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just had a little bit of pushback on that from what I heard you say, because you said that burn was the only sort of, I guess, translation that would have made sense in that case. But if Jesus's feet are like unto fine brass in fire in a furnace, why could they not be glowing?
Okay, so I want to look up. I'm trying to find a word. Because as you said it, I'm remembering. I just don't remember which word we was looking up.
Specifically burn.
It was said to burn with fire, to set on fire, kindle, to be on fire, to burn, to be incensed, indignant, to make glow, full of fire, fiery indignation, and darts full with the inflammable substances set on fire. And, hold on, I gotta find out who that is that said that. I think that's this guy. All right. So, even if you say glow, it's still a glow in the color of brass. Even if you say glow, right? It still would be brass, which is
brass. No, I'm okay with it. I had actually never heard anyone say use that, and I had looked it up, and I use Strong's and all that stuff too. Like I read only King James version and everything too. Mm-hmm. So like I'm quick to like look up a word if I need to. But when I heard you say that, I looked real quick and I saw it and I was like, "Whoa!" I mean, because you said that burn is the only word that makes sense in that case.
Oh, wait, but I think the only reason I said that made sense is because the translation uses the word burn. Like if the English would have said glow, but because the English starts off saying burn, I would say that that's the word that they use to best translate what the Greek was implying.
Okay, so now I'll be honest with you. I prefer the King James version over any version of the Bible,
right,
but I do think that there are some poor translations in it still.
Well, I think with any translation, I think with any translation from one language to another, it's not an exact translation. It's like the closest word to whatever. Like if you translate something from Spanish to English, you go to a Spanish speaking person and say, this is what it says in English. Say, no, that's not good enough. Use this. So I would agree with that too. We use the King James because it's the best translation out of them all. But I think I also think that the King James version, I think it largely gained its popularity, even though it's not the first of the English translations. I think it's the one that people like. It sounds the best, like coming off the tongue, like it's very poetic and things like that. Hold on 1 second. Whenever I tell y'all to hold on, it's because I have another call coming in. Hold on. Hold on.
Okay.
You can continue.
Yeah, and I got one more question.
Yep.
This is kind of a general thing, just about like, I guess, like Hebrew Israelite, like the salvation of, like, I guess, white people versus Israelites. And
it's not really a white people. Just before you ask your question, it's not a white people versus Israelites.
Thank you. How y'all feeling tonight? Water coming out. I don't know how you came out in this cold. I heard about the Chicago cold. Bro, I got out of the car. I said, man, this is not normal. I said, who wanted to build a city up here? Cold as Satan in this city. And they said it's gonna get colder. I said, dang. You know, man. So let me know when you on me. I'm on. All right. Welcome to Wednesday night, man. We doing it up. We broadcasting on what, Melquar?
I.S.U.P.K Chicago.
I.S.U.P.K Chicago page. Let's send that link out. Let's get into it. Let me tell you what you're about to hear tonight. You're about to hear the testimony of a young lady who got caught into the IUIC. And she is about to tell you a tale of the Handmaid's Tale that is going on in that organization. And it is a clear indication of the evil things go on in these fake groups. I just found out today that the couple that killed their child and buried him in the backyard. Y'all heard about that? Now, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard that they was part of GOCC. Once again, another fake Israelite group that's come out of the I.S.U.P.K. And let me tell you something. We should fear going off. Because if we don't fear going off, we will go down the same path. You know what I mean? Man's mind wanders. You need clear rules so you don't wander. And you got to be humble enough to take on those rules. And the I.S.U.P.K has done that, and you got to do that, and you got to be on top of it. You know what I'm saying? You got to remember the legacy and the traditions and the honors that we do, because these brothers had it as well. And this story this sister's about to tell us is a horrifying reminder of what it is that you should never, ever do when it comes to the work of the Lord. So y'all tell me when y'all good to go, and I'll bring her on. All right? All right, just give me a heads up. Can I just get a napkin real quick? I'll go too. Take this gum out my mouth. So, any quick questions, bro? Sisters, go ahead, Al.
Like it, General. I was on bingo and brother asked a question. He was asking me, he said, so we, like, when you go through, the different letters that Paul wrote, you know, to the different cities, but Acts be like the different cities, we act at the different cities that he had went through that, you know, actually represent some of, you know, the letters that he wrote to those cities.
Some of those letters, some of those other letters that you read are some of those cities that are mentioned in the book of Acts. You know what I mean? That's why now if you're talking about the ones that Christ said he had aught with, it's not those. It's the other cities. But he did mention those cities in the book of Acts, and he wrote letters to those cities, to those. So that part is correct. Which is which? You gotta go through them. All right. Anybody else? No questions? But my scholars in there, come on, hit me again.
Revelation 7th chapter. When they're talking about the seven.
Excuse me. While you work on that, I just want to say, can we give it up for Captain Malquad, man? Midwest putting this all together and hosting this tonight, man. Doing a hell of a job up in this city, man, in all this cold weather. It's unbearable cold. You know what I'm saying? And keep this camp strong. You need every strong man in the work of the Lord. You don't need weak men and emotional men. You need strong men. You need men that have good discipline, a good head on their shoulder, that's fighting to be better at what they are, and they are clear on their goal. What is their goal? Simply to raise up the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Right. You know what I mean? And they have to know to not be distracted by anything, not to be taken off their mark. Satan wants every last one of you brothers and sisters. He wants you. The best weapon he ever had was to take one of you and make you betray the brotherhood and the sisterhood. He did it with Judas Iscariot. He worked him well right up until the time he betrayed the king. And once he betrayed the king, it was on. That's what you don't want Satan to do with you. He wants you to betray what you learned, what you came up with. He wants to use your suffering so that you could turn against it. So you can turn against the Lord. He did it to Christ, but it didn't work. He raised him up and showed him the temple. Remember, he raised him up, showed him that temple. Learn that lesson for yourselves. He wants to come at you. Now, here's the thing. Here's the lesson to learn. Satan will never win if you never give up. It's as simple as that. You give up, you lost. You got to look down in the dirt, know that death is around the corner, and you got to say, I'm not giving up. And I guarantee you, you're going to come out of that grave and you're going to be on top. Sometimes we think our problems are big because Satan makes them big.
Right.
And our problems may not even be that big. It may be a small fix. It just might be big to you because of what you are going through. But it may not even be that big. That's why the scriptures say in the multitude of counsels of the people saved, because those counsels wash out all those things that Satan is trying to whisper in our ear all the time. Stay vigilant on the great things the Lord have in front of you. Go ahead, Hop.
Good. What do you think about T.D. Jakes having that heart attack? Is that a message from the Lord or warning?
I think T.D. Jakes' heart attack was fake.
Oh, let's look at the Marvel card.
I always, a slimy bastard like that, I just default to a lie first. Nigga gonna have to come out with the medical record for me to say, okay. And then I gotta see who the doctor that signed the shit. Make sure he ain't get a payoff. It's too convenient. First of all, he has a heart attack where he don't really fall down. They come to his rescue. So you ain't really see nothing. Then you understand he go in the hospital and he come out, he in a wheelchair and repentive. You understand, but no real damage. They ain't saying nothing about how much damage. T.D. Jakes has a lot of money and a lot of organization behind him and a lot of government behind him. And so it's very easy for him to do that. The real story going on is he got caught. They got the tapes of him having sex and doing things to men. You know what I mean? Who's more believable is that sodomite that said T.D. Jakes said, "You'll be the only man I'm having sex with." You all saw that tape? It was a horrifying tape. It was literally horrifying. First of all, the man that he sent it to was a 2-time convicted sexual predator. He's an admitting sexual predator, twice been locked up in the prison. Came out, got a track record of this. Total sodomite, came out and said T.D. Jakes did this to him when he was a young man, and came out and laid out. He's more believable than anything T.D. Jakes does. So there's a good chance it was a fake. Once again, they got multi-million-dollar corporations that work to spin a scenario in their favor. Right. I'm going to hit you with something that I saw recently. Y'all going to be able to relate to it. Y'all know who Charleston White is, right? No. And I know you know who Woody is. He's from Chicago. Now, check this out. They was interviewing Charleston White, right? And they was saying, well, what happened with you and Woody? Y'all done fell out or something, blah, 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 blah. And Charleston White said something that caught my eye. He said, yeah, man, I was trying to explain to him that these white people want me to interview him. They want me to talk to him. And I was trying to show him I'm going to get you the bag, like $15,000, $30,000. And he went on and said, blah, 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 blah. And somehow him and Woody fell apart. But what he let out that everybody didn't catch that easily was the fact that, let me know when she's on, all right? And we're going to go. What came out that a lot of people didn't catch was the fact that he said, these white people want me to talk to him.
Right.
In essence, what will happen is Woody snitched.
Right.
You understand? For the government.
Right.
Gave them a big case that they almost won. And they said, well, since he's a snitch, why not make him famous? Like, we got nothing against him now. He told all the lie, he spilled on everybody. So they used Charleston White, who they already control, and said, let's make Woody famous. Now you notice he got that show. He got like some kind of show where he bring families on and they talk about stuff. It's in a whole big white screen behind him. It's a whole show he got. You be thinking this should be random. It's not random. They be working to put this stuff together. And so he revealed how They made Charleston white, and they making Woody famous. This is what they do, and they're gonna do. And and TD Jakes could do the same thing. He got the power to do it. He got the power and the wealth to turn the tables on everybody's opinion of it. And that's what I believe happened. I ain't got no proof of it, but why should I believe it?
Right.
He lied about everything else.
Right.
The damage and destruction that sodomite has done to us as a people, especially in blocking us from getting to see the Father, is colossal. It's colossal. It's no mistake. Think clearly. There's no mistake that there are a bunch of Israelite. You get on the internet, you see a bunch of little fake Israelite groups popping up all over the place. That's not organic. That's the government. They want to make sure that you don't have too big a voice where everybody listens to you. Mm-hmm. They need it to be chaotic and crazy stuff. Like you saw the cat that was on there and they had ham at their Passover. And all the people, like stuff like that, you look at it, you be like, damn, man, what these niggas is doing, it be Esau. Esau creating that. The only place that I have ever found the 100% authentic truth, and I found it as a kid before it was famous or known, is the Israelite school of U.P.K. It's the only place. You understand? When I walked in that door, it was 20 wooden chairs. That's how many chairs it was in that room. And there was an old man in there teaching and some other brothers in there teaching. And they had this wealth of knowledge that shouldn't have been in this little room. It was crazy. But they was pouring that knowledge down and they was able to prove everything that they said. And if you had examined them, you would have known there was nothing for them to gain. These were poor cats in Harlem in the 80s. They had nothing to gain. So why they were going through all of this trouble to get this knowledge so down had to either be an ego trip or it had to be the Lord. And it wasn't nothing to be egotistical about. Nobody knew who the hell they was. So it had to be the Most High. And that knowledge has been passed down on to us. I can't believe I'm still here holding the gates to that knowledge. Like I know that that's the Most High. You understand? I know that that's the Most High. And after me, all of you will have to hold those gates because everything that they will come with everything to take away your seat. Everything to make you already know. They're coming with everything. But if you stay wise, if you stay strong, if you trust in the Most High, if you only know that all you are here to do is wake up the 12 tribes, anything else is a distraction. Anything else is a possibility Esau is playing on you. Raise up these tribes, man, and turn them back to the Father and watch what the Lord does. Going to do amazing things among us. So, yeah, I don't believe none of that garbage he coming out. Yeah, somebody in the back had their hand up first. Go ahead, Go ahead. Where you going?
Break down on Isaiah chapter 10, verses 1 through 4.
Read them.
I will come. Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees.
Right. Destruction unto those that decree an unrighteous decree. You bringing this out because of the TD Jakes thing? Oh, okay. Like, what's an unrighteous decree? Who could tell me what an unrighteous decree is, the Baba?
It said, everybody vote or die.
Unrighteous decree. Can I get some power? Where can I do this at? What? I appreciate it. Thank you. Right. That's an unrighteous decree. Give me another one. Go ahead, brother with the headband. Huh?
Law.
Say again?
Law.
Yes. You're correct. You're correct. Bring them a little closer to home. Go ahead. You got it.
Sir. It's not okay for a man to have multiple wives, but it's okay for men to marry men and women to marry women.
That's a decree. Every man has every person has the right to love who they want to love, man or woman. That's a decree. Those is unrighteous decrees, and all the other ones as well. So that's what the Lord is saying: destruction to you for bringing that kind of decree among the Lord's chosen. Go ahead.
In that right grievousness which they have prescribed.
Nice and loud. One more time, When you read in here, even though you in here, read like you in the street. Read with aggression.
And that right grievousness which they have prescribed.
Right. Meaning they right grievousness. They create things that are grievous to your spirit. They create rules that are grievous to your spirit. You getting parking tickets. The fact that you got to go get a driver's license every several years just drives me crazy. Like I already know how to drive, but he just a bastard. More money in a couple. It's the same license. What's the difference? You know what I mean? Like I can see him saying, "Well, you got to get a medical checkup just to make sure you still functioning the right way." They do that if you driving a truck or something like that. But what is this thing where you got to pay for the license every couple of years? And then if you miss it, you get pulled over, you get a ticket, you got more problems, all of that. Those are grievous things that's done to us. Go ahead,
Verse 2, to turn aside the needy from judgment.
Right, this is important. To turn aside the needy from judgment, meaning the needy is poor and suffering, and they the needy. And they coming to get justice because this rich guy is doing harm to them. So they come to you for justice, but instead of them getting justice, you turn them to the side. How do you turn them to the side? With rules that are grievous to them, with evil rules. When they come to you and say, my son was molested by somebody in your church, God love everybody. That's turning you to the side. You understand? When you go into court because you can kill 3 drug dealers on your corner for selling drugs to all the children on the corner, they say only the police can kill people.
Right.
Meanwhile, they killing people wrongfully. You know what I'm saying? That's turning away you from justice. That's why we always protest. No justice, no peace. Because we don't feel justice when we deal with America. And the reason we don't feel justice when we deal with America is because if you really want to understand your relationship with America, you must study domestic abuse.
Right.
That's what it is. It's textbook domestic abuse. An abuser never allows the victim to feel any justice.
Right.
He only tries to make the victim feel guilt for bringing up the issue of wanting to be just. And doesn't Esau do that? When you say the cops always killing us, you got to put your hands on the steering wheel.
Right.
You got to obey the police officer. You got to do this. Meanwhile, cats, they cursing, them white boys cursing out the police and all that. A good example is this white boy that killed that brother on the subway, straight up murdered him. The other people on the subway was telling him, let him go, get off his neck. Right. You're going to kill him on his neck. Let his neck go. But that piece of shit was in such a rage that he could not let that brother's neck go. He wanted to kill one of us so bad that he could not. He wanted to take out all his rage from when he was in the military over there fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan. He wanted to take every bit of it out on us. And now here was his opportunity. He was a time bomb waiting to happen. And now they interviewing this piece of shit on Fox News like he's somebody special. That's an example of that. That's an example. Here you are, you know he murdered him. You waiting to receive justice, but an abuser only sees you as the problem. Never give you no justice. That's why whenever you talk about separating from America, that to them, that's never the solution. Even how they talking about, I'm coming to you right now, even how they talking about getting rid of our Mexican brothers. But they talking about having land for the deportation. Right. You understand? So it's starting to look like you're not really getting rid of them. You just gonna abuse them more. An abuser don't never want to lose the victim. Right. He just wants to abuse the victim. And so that's why that's the relationship we have with America, Captain.
Say what like what the children brother out on the train.
Yeah.
Man, it was I went and seen the comments. Man, damn near every white person agreed with him getting off from choking his brother out. I'm like, black people need to see this.
No, listen, you're right. And that's another thing that amazes me about black people. You don't understand abuse because the abuser, he don't never think he wrong. You understand? Like, he don't think he wrong. He beating his woman up every night. The cops coming, he get locked up, you know what I mean? He drunk all night or whatever the case might be, or vice versa. You got a lot of sisters do that too. I remember 1988, I'll never forget, brother. I turned on the news. For the first time, I saw what a female abuser was. The reporter said, well, Mrs. Blanchard, why did you kill him? She said, because he said he wanted dinner. So I put a can of beef and barley soup in a sock, and I gave him dinner.
Nice.
I shouldn't have said that in front of the sister. Give him a little idea. This woman took a can of beef and barley soup, man, and split this brother's skull open, man, and killed him. And why? Because an abuser always thinks they own you and have the right to abuse you, which is the white man. He thinks I own these niggas. I've been had these niggas. I have the right to do this. You know what I mean? That's why they always in police mode, always in getting you right, always in straightening you out, always in watching out for you if you cheating. They always in that mode, and we always in the mode of explaining. But I ain't do nothing. That ain't doing it. It wasn't me. It was him. It wasn't that. We always doing that because, of course, like any victim, you get abused to the point where you're trying to explain to this abuser what is happening to you. That the abuser is incorrect in what they're doing to you. But the abuser, you think he might understand. He don't care about understanding. He care about abusing. That's what he care about. Like, that's why the FedEx driver gets beat up. That's why the Amazon driver pulling the white neighborhood, because he don't care about what's right and wrong. He care about abusing you. He care about feeling this. Yeah, straighten that motherfucker out. That's what he care about. And that is the state of, psychological abuse. And that's what's happened to us in this place. Read on. The mom, was you about to say something?
Shoot, I just wanted to just talk about the I don't know if you remember the insurrection that happened at the Capitol building.
You talking about January 6th?
That was it January 6th?
Yeah.
Johnson.
The big one.
Did you know that they let the one of the white cats out of jail, and so he could go home and do his sentence at home?
Yeah.
Because he was talking about the harsh conditions that we always complain about in the prisons. And I just wanted to say
it's amazing.
That's crazy since we're talking on that topic now.
Yeah. It's like an abuser only has empathy for himself.
Right.
The smallest thing you do to him, he's going to be furious. If you make him late 5 minutes, I can't believe you made me late. You ain't shit. He's going to be furious because he has ultimate empathy for himself. But if he makes you late, if he drives your car off a cliff, you should have had this car checked out. Of course, I went off the cliff with the car. It ain't my fault. That's abuse. And that's what the white man's doing to us. You know what I mean? The littlest least infraction of a black man, he's calling SWAT in with a helicopter to come and get you. But he murdered somebody on the subway, and the murderer is a good guy. He gonna let all them January 6th guys out. And January 6th, brother, I mean, they defecated in Nancy Pelosi's office on the desk. I mean, you don't get no worse than that, then. You know what I'm saying? They chased the vice president into the bunker. They was walking through the halls looking for the vice president to murder him. He get ready to let him out. The Black Panther Party in the 60s went on the steps of the Capitol with guns. Just walked up on the steps, and they locked all of them up, killed them, locked them up. They was killing them in their house after that. Y'all heard it. Y'all know better than anybody being from Chicago. It was total death and mayhem on them. That's why the Israelite school, U.P.K, has always taught what the scriptures taught, which is separate from them. Right. Like any abuse, when a woman goes to get treated for domestic violence, what's the first thing they say to her? Separate from her. That's why they build these shelters. Them shelters is for a woman to leave the house and go stay in the shelter, and the husband not know where she is, because they know one thing they know. You would think this man hate her so much, he gonna be glad she gone.
Right.
I hated that bitch. I'm glad she gone. No, they understand abuse. They understand that the abuser is gonna go and get her back because he never wanted her to leave.
Right.
He just wanted to abuse her. So that's why they got to make the shelter where you can't get in the shelter or know where it is, because she got to be able to hide from him to get away. And that's what got to happen to us.
Right.
So we got to be able to hide and get away from this man, to get our strength back. You know what I'm saying? But of course, in this world, they teach us, hell no. How the hell you going to, just separate from this place and, it's all wrong and all of this stuff when it's what they do. It's what they do.
Right.
But they don't want you to do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Read on, I can finish it up. So, go ahead. Huh? Oh, okay, let's bring on. We'll come back to that in a second. Can she hear me? Hello, sis?
Shalom.
Shalom. How are you?
I'm okay.
Very good, very good. I was amazed when you know who I am, right?
Yes, sir, I do.
Why don't you tell me your name?
My name is Erica Amana.
Erica Amana?
Yes, you can call me Amana. That's my Israel name.
Amana, okay. It's so nice to meet you, sis.
Thank you.
I heard your story, and I was pretty amazed at your story. I was further amazed at the fact that you would take the time to try and share it with brothers and sisters.
Yes, I mean, it's quite an astonishment. It was shocking for me to experience. It's definitely a learning experience. Thank you so much for the opportunity to give you my side, my story. All praises to the Most High. Honor to you.
Most High.
Yeah, it's definitely not expected. I was warned from my brother. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, my understanding is your brother is in the I.S.U.P.K.
Yes, sir.
And he tried to stop you ahead of time.
Yeah, he always mentioned Joy Fowler.
Okay.
And about other little things that happen in between the organization. But I'm the type. It's terrible. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're the type that what?
I gotta see things for myself, which is terrible. But yeah, it's sad to say to bring it up as an example, but they murdered Joyce Fowler physically, and her soul is not in her body, but they assassinated and murdered my character.
Wow.
Without any thorough examination of a matter, they humiliated me on international live stream.
Mm.
Yeah.
In what way, sis, if you don't mind telling me?
They exposed private messages. I was under the impression that I was discussing matters with a sister I can trust. And believe it or not, it went to leadership. They didn't even speak to me in regards to the matter. There was no counsel, no nothing. It was just broadcasted. I'm getting ready to go to class, and I see it on national live stream.
Wow.
And I'm being criticized as astonishment in the school.
That must have been devastating.
Yeah, big time, and very humiliating. I've never been this embarrassed in my life. Wow. I've been, holding myself up with prayer and reading myself, of course, staying in the scripture, but it's been hard. It's so crazy. It's they said I needed medication, and no, I think I need medication. They drove me up the wall. Yeah, but no, I'm gonna be all right. I'm fine.
Tell me how this started. What exactly took place in all of this, if you don't mind?
Okay, so I want to say
you joined the IUIC, right?
Yes, sir.
Then what happened?
Or you want me to start from the beginning?
I sit here all night and listen to your story if you're up for it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
of it. If you want to be particular, I'm particularly interested in the rumor of this whole handmaid thing and how and what this is and how sisters are treated in that process.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't call it a handmaid. But see, they have a thing with shaming other camps about having other wives, but they discreetly have other women that serve them. They can have children with the women. They can have some kind of companionship with the women. Sometimes the woman might, the first wife might be okay with it. It depends. Sometimes it's on the low. They don't speak of it.
And the woman is not considered their wives.
No.
Even though she has children by him.
So the thing is, I was offered the opportunity to bear children, and I just could not. And but it was I couldn't bear children. But some wives, I mean, it was just an absolute no.
When you say they could not, you could not physically, or you could not in good conscience do it because of the situation?
Not physically.
Okay. Well, that could be it. Right. Okay.
It never felt right. I'm not going to lie. It never felt right consciously because it's just, I was expecting to come into righteousness and become pure, get right, get clean.
Sure.
And forsake, fornication, adultery, and all that kind of thing. And so forth. They also claim only having one wife. So I was really confused on the matter. How you want me to have your baby and you're married to so-and-so? So I moved very slowly. And I really think because I never made a decision and plus I never bear the child, they became very careless of me. I really feel like if you're not a wife, you're not really cared for. But yeah, that experience, I want to say was estranged. It was definitely a weird place to be. Because I say, look, if you believe in having an alternate wife, just say that.
Because that's in essence what they're doing. In essence, they are having more than one wife, but they are trying to say they don't have more than one wife while having sex with sisters and having children with sisters and claiming them to not be their wives. Is that correct?
Right. But basically, you're basically a mistress. You're, I want to say, a glorified side piece. Not even glorified. You don't even get that because it's secretive. It's secretive.
That's something, because Nate said on a podcast, a very big podcast, that the reason he left the I.S.U.P.K was that there was too much polygamy in the I.S.U.P.K. Now we come to find out that polygamy is going on in the IUIC, but it's just kept quiet. Am I lying on?
No, it really is kept on a hush. I don't know I don't know if anybody has other children, but I know they try to give me children.
Let me ask you this: is that the reason for the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement?
I don't. Oh, what's that? I mean,
okay. We heard that they were issuing non-disclosure agreements to everyone that joined their organization. So is that just a rumor? Probably.
I mean, I remember when I did join, I was on the line with deacons, captains, and bishops. I think it was a virtual signature.
Okay, so you virtually signed.
Yeah.
The NDA.
Yes.
Okay. That's a rough one. That's a rough one. Wow. And so is the rumor true that and let me just say this, right? We're not here to Oh, let me just tell the truth. We hit it down, IUIC. I started to say we're not really trying to down, but I really deep down inside, I had to look inside myself and realize I was lying. Let me tell you why. Because
the truth.
It's just a heartbreaking experience to know that these brothers were in the truth, in the I.S.U.P.K, and then they went and broke off and created this whole religion that, is claimed the death of Joy Morgan, and has given us, as just as Israelites that care about our people, given us a real terror of what else might be happening with sisters. You know what I mean? And so we heard that when you come into the IUIC and you are single, that you are assigned to a house. Can you explain that to me?
Okay, so you're given over to a man in breaking, and he's ahead of you. Of course, in Israel, the order is, of course, God, Christ, the man, and then the woman.
Right.
And he's ahead over you. That can be an intimate relationship. You might be given a role, and your arms go towards that house.
Okay.
That's pretty much why, if you would be coming in, like sometimes you're a progress, because believe it or not, you add wealth to the house.
I got you. So let's say you work a job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you pay your tithes, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And then the rest of your money goes towards that house.
Yeah. I mean, whatever you donate, you won't see where it goes, but believe it or not, it's a portion of that goes to that man, to that house.
And that house might be a man with a woman that he claims to be his wife, and you, who he may claim is not his wife.
Right. Yes.
And you may or may not have an intimate relationship with it.
Right.
So there are sisters, so I can get it right. There are sisters that are assigned to a house with a man and his wife.
Right.
Who she does not have an intimate relationship with that man. Hopefully she doesn't have an intimate relationship with the woman either.
Right.
I'm just saying. And her money goes to that house.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that the essence of slavery?
I
mean, she's given her labor is going to that house, and she has no guarantee of any return or any guarantee of marriage or any guarantee of children. Am I right?
Well, if you show good faith, of course, good standing, and if you are in good standing, you could be offered to prove a spouse on your own. But you have to, of course, be righteous. You have to be involved in the congregation, pay your tithes, of course, follow the commandments. But I want to say my position, because I can't really explain anybody else's. When I was coming in, it was, I want to say they were kind of like it was desperate. I even know some women who were okay with it, long it's their husband's glory, long as he's satisfied. Especially when it became to the older ones, long as he's satisfied, and then long as something's coming in, they're good. They're okay with it.
Wow.
So it went from, go ahead.
That's pimping at its best.
Oh, God. So if
true that if you're assigned to a house, that you are subservient to the woman he claims is his only wife?
Well, I don't want to say you serve her. If anything, she can help bring you up into the truth. You could develop a friendship.
But you're not ordered to follow what she says. In other words, she can't order you to do the laundry or order you to wash the dishes.
Oh, no. Now she can teach you roles around the congregation, yeah. But again, this is all hush hush. I really wouldn't know if sister so and so was doing someone's laundry, but I know from my experience, it was okay. You're going to this house. You can do this role X, Y, and Z. Pay your tithes.
What is X, Y?
Well, you can take up a role. If you're active in a congregation, you can be given a responsibility.
Okay.
But
in congregation, not in the house.
Not in the house. I wouldn't know if anybody was given house.
Is it a culture where you don't talk about it? Where you don't discuss what other sisters are doing?
It's discreet. It's very discreet.
Okay. It's very discreet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anybody else want to join in with questions? You mind if I open the floor to some questions, sis?
Sure.
That brothers may have. Go ahead, the Barma.
First a comment. This is all right. First a comment. This just seems like the Justinian laws. It seems something very, very Roman for like a man to have a legitimate wife and then a man to have a wife that is more like a, so to speak, what people think in the English culture, a concubine. That's what it seems like with this, where they have a legitimate wife and then they have this wife that's on the low.
Have you, the sisters that have been in this situation like yourself ever been referred to as concubines?
That's what I would call it. He's right about that as far as the history matter. But, they don't give it a name or anything to keep it discreet. This is just basically what you're going to do. They don't give it a title or anything.
Good way to keep it quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now my question. So you can have sexual intercourse in this scenario, and then a woman would pay alms to a man, and if she does well, then she could possibly earn another man that's in the congregation.
Okay, so let me help you with that question. So the alms have nothing to do with the intimacy and the sexual intercourse. If anything, it's just your alms to support, the cause and of course the troops. It's very secretive about how no one knows about how. Say if I was a single sister coming in and I was assigned to a household or whatever, so and so.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I don't want to cut that off. Please finish.
Mm-hmm. The alms to that again, I caught that because I couldn't understand how so much a particular sister wanted me to be with her man. I couldn't understand. Find out hearing the conversation, it's the money route. Fine, if he gets another.
So it's a money.
Hmm?
So it's a money grab. Like a sister will want you to be assigned to her husband's house because it's more money for her.
It goes right into the house. Believe it or not, a percentage, I think, at the part of the month goes into the household.
I see. And let's say somewhere in the middle of that, and I'll get back to you, Deborah, too. It's somewhere in the middle of that, you decide there's a brother you want to court and possibly marry. It has nothing to do with that house. Are you free and able to do it, even though you were assigned to this other house?
Yes, if you're in good standing. If you, of course, pay your alms, if you're active within the congregation, you do your job right, you could.
And so if you get involved with that brother, does your arms and your funds now stop going to that house and now goes to the relationship you're building with the new brother?
Yes.
Go ahead, Deborah.
So, what I want to clarify is, so there's a way that a woman could be secretly being with a man
to produce a child, but that wouldn't be his wife. If this woman was in good standings with this church, would they be able to then, because of good behavior, get their own husband? Like in this case, let's say that the woman she's not able to produce a child. Mm-hmm. So then now she's able to go find another husband or find a husband in the school. If so, is that kept on a hush?
Yeah. It's discreet.
So my question is, these men are really around each other, knowing that they've been with another woman, with another man's woman, and they're smiling in his brother's face as if he has no clue.
Oh, wait a minute, I'm confused. Wait a minute. Sis, are you saying that if you are assigned to a house and you start having intimate relationships with the man of that house, if you're in good standings, you can go and get your own husband, a different man?
That's what was basically said to me. It didn't make sense. I didn't want it that way because I'm like, wait a minute. I want to come pure to my future husband. It's like,
what's going on here?
But this is, I'm just telling you what's presented to me.
This is says, I think that your honesty is giving us a clarification of a lifestyle we never thought could ever exist. Basically, as long as it's kept quiet, you basically can commit adultery.
Sad to say.
Amazing. Go ahead, DeBoer.
This is the last part. This is why it's coming full circle, because this is why I say it just sounds Justinian. Because General, correct me if I'm wrong, sir. Under the Justinian law, the man can take a woman, she may be pure, never had sex before, go before the magistrate. The magistrate says, okay, well, you come into my chamber. So he takes the woman into the chambers, has sex with her, and then brings her to that man after he has sex with this woman.
Not him, but a noble. A noble can do that. So it is very similar to that. But I to say it was that sophisticated would be giving them credit. Right. This ain't nothing but a bunch of ghetto lust.
Ghetto lust.
Wrapped up. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the danger of finding the truth. The danger is, remember the Lord said, where the righteous are, there is Satan also. That's right. And what happens is, because we have the truth, this is why being a priest of the Lord is such a responsibility. Yeah, right. Because you have the truth, there is also Satan looking to create all kinds of things where he can prey on it. All these groups were religious groups. Jim Jones killed all those brothers and sisters. Religious group. Heaven's Gate cut off their rod. And all they were homosexuals denying themselves. They eventually cut off their rods under the guise of a religious order. Made massive child molestation in the Roman Catholic Church, done under religious order, which is why it's so important when you come into the truth to make sure that the body of the work that we do stays pure. Right. This man was in the truth. He was in the truth. He came up with me. We came up together. He was in the Queens camp. I was in the Bronx camp. Nick. And so he had every opportunity to stay with the truth. But we all knew, because Marshall had mercy on him, we all knew that there was a homosexual component to the way they operate. And by the way, just so you understand, and I'm gonna come right back to you, sis, this is the way a homosexual would create multiple wives. He would do it this way. He would make it in secret. He would also try to find a way to make it where the wives would have permission. And he also knew what he could use to make the wives give permission: money. Right. So the woman comes with money. The wife is happy because she's getting money. And then the husband gets to have sex with her. And if he doesn't like it, he gets to stay in his monogamous relationship with his wife. And she gets to go on and have sex with somebody else. The only law says we just ain't got that money no more. We have to get somebody else now. It's a horrible, horrible thing to do that. It's what Puff Daddy was doing. Right. I mean, you take a girl and turn her out, and then you turn around and you use her for as money as long as you can. And when you can't, you just try to get rid of her and you go back to your little happy family.
Right.
Like that is an abomination before the Lord. And that's why it's done such in the dark. You know what I'm saying? And what did Christ say, man? Beware of the leaven of the Pharisees, for it is hypocrisy.
That's right.
And that's exactly what's going on. They touted the monogamous relationship.
Right.
Hey, sis, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
You said something when you first came on, and I wonder about it now because it may give me some insight. When you first embarked upon IUIC, did you choose them because you were under the impression that they were more pure because they had a one-on-one relationship with a man and a woman?
I wouldn't say it wasn't the marriages, because I feel like I saw marriages in I.S.U.P.K. I was more so on board because of the teachings they were giving women, and that's just my honest opinion and from what I experienced. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to cut you off. That was your honest experience, and what?
That's just my experience. I like what they were teaching the women, as far as like biblically and like our role in the household. I'm going to be honest with you. If I think about myself before I came in Israelite in Christ, I was walking around like a man, very masculine. I am now more feminine, whereas like I understand my role of silence and respect to a man and I can even sew now. I cook. I always was a cook, but like it's my mentality is different. I even respect my body a different way. But like
and you had at the time believed that IUIC could better teach you that.
Yes. That was the impression. My main problem.
Too bad you ain't getting I.S.U.P.K. roughneck. Because you'd have really learned about being a woman with them. They would have been hiding nothing. There would have been nothing done on the hush, none of that. Yo, man. Like, but I understand what you're saying. It's a tool used by predators to gain your confidence when their intentions are far more darker. Like you have learned those things, and those are things that the I.S.U.P.K. always taught. And Nate knew those from many years ago. But the actual experience that you had came from what Nate and others put into the mix of you all later on.
Yeah, right.
It had nothing to do with the truth.
That's
you know what I mean? None of those are in the scriptures. None of those are anything that the Lord said to do. And we don't have concubines in this time. You know what I mean? Our brothers and sisters become husbands and wives. Scriptures tell you.
Okay.
So that's okay though. That's okay though, because you know what I mean, now at least you're out of that madness, and a lot of other sisters will see it, and you don't have to end up like Joy Moore. Hey, boy. Hey, big fella. Let him go if you don't mind. Like, let him do his thing. You know, man. John, he's a bad dude. So questions. I got one other question, sis.
Okay.
I mean, not one other, but a couple of questions coming. Go ahead.
That's fine.
If I could, I two questions on the top of my mind for this picture. One, so like this, in the IUIC, when they do their whole marriage thing, this is kind of a two-part. Is it contractual marriage, like they get married on a contract, like the United States government? And do they also believe in divorce in their organization?
Ooh, very good question. Okay. You guys don't like this. Okay. So, all right. So it is a contract marriage. They do one for, of course, is United in Christ, and then of course they get paperwork from the white man. They support the contract is based on the biblical scriptures, Tobit. But I'm trying to just remember more of your question.
All right, with the contractual marriage, do they believe in divorce?
Okay, so they tell you there is no more divorce, no more. If they'll tell you, even if you're betrothed to somebody else, because we have a process of before marriage, it's proving betrothal, and then of course the actual marriage, the feast, and then you guys are just married. You can't even step out of betrothal. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong.
Wait a minute. So if you are betrothed to a man, you can't say, I want to break off this engagement. I don't want to marry.
Maybe.
Huh? Say again?
It would have to be because of adultery or fornication. But no, you stuck with that person.
Okay, adultery or fornication by you or by him?
Both parties.
How does a man commit adultery in the IUIC?
I'm going to tell you, they have a respect. I think they do have a respective person, because I have a sister that shared her experience with me, whereas her husband was directed to divorce her simply because they weren't happy with her. I don't.
Wait a minute. They were not happy with her.
Yes.
What were they unhappy about, if you don't mind?
Well, he complained about a text message sent to another friend. It was simply a good morning, and you know how you can press the hand to wave at somebody? That's what it was.
So she waved the hand at another man.
Yeah.
And they didn't like it.
They didn't like it. They advised for him to divorce her.
Did he divorce?
He pulled up paperwork. They're not divorced, but it's a little confusing because they tell you, okay, you can't divorce, but then they're telling ranking officers, and especially in this matter, to divorce their wife. It's kind of where it's hypocritical.
So they'll direct somebody to divorce their wife based on a text message.
Basically, very petty.
Is that kept hush hush too?
Of course.
Gotcha. That's pretty rough. That's pretty rough.
I mean, I understand that, you know, it's because you're not supposed to have any other communication with the man. I get that. But other than that, she's an excellent wife. I can't, so I don't imagine how he wants to hand paperwork to a pregnant woman, 7 months pregnant.
Well, let me say this. That's not true that you're not supposed to have any communication with any other man. Men direct all kinds of operations with brothers' wives, and you know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to sit, you know, at the bar with another man's wife or make a sexual comment to another man's wife. And it's up to that man if he decides that you can communicate with another man. In this case, it wasn't even the husband, I'm assuming, that didn't like it. It was done by somebody else who had rank and felt that it was inappropriate, correct?
Right.
So that's actually not true. You know, man, what they're doing. And to, you know, according to the scriptures, you have to divorce your wife for a reason. You can't just, you know, the Lord even said if a man have a wife, one that he love and one that he hate, you know, that she's not to be diminished. The one he hates is not supposed to lose what she has, because, you know, he has another wife that he loves. So that's incorrect. This just more IUIC nonsense. I'm gonna let a couple brothers follow up. Go ahead.
My last question to Sister Salaki, if I could.
Go ahead.
So, sis, with all the things that you know and brought out, I'm not going to even continue to inform us on with IUIC. My question is, they dog the U.P.K. According to them, we are the worst niggas on earth. You know what I mean? How do they justify? They talk about us because we openly believe in multiple wives. We follow the scriptures and we believe in it and we promote this ideology.
And obviously they do too.
All right. How do they justify the lies to you all? How they dog us for having multiple wives and all the things they say about us? But as you have seen behind the scenes, they do worse than what they ever accused us of. How do they justify that to you all to make? How did they justify that to make you continue to follow them in this lascivious activity that goes on in their church?
Very good question. It takes some kind of bond with the man that does choose you. Because I had all types of questions. I was like, wait a minute. Because like you said, they do. They throw y'all under the bus for having multiple wives. And, they tarnish your name about it. But like they turn around and do something different. For you to be okay with that, I have to say you have to go, it's manipulation. It really is. It's no other word to describe it. It's pure manipulation. And I mean, that's what I experienced. I don't know about anyone else, but like it's, he's in your eyes and he's telling you, look, it's okay. This is our thing.
You got some good, give it to the brother in the back. You got some good sexual predators up in there.
Shalom, sis.
Shalom.
Sorry for the things you had to go through, by being up in the IUIC. The I.S.U.P.K has been putting them on blast for years. I'm sorry we had to go through that personally. But my question is, with all the evil that go on in that place, how is it, that, they keep it a secret? How is that it's just not getting out with you? How do they justify them keeping everything? How's this evil not been out and been a public knowledge?
Because the women don't speak of it. If you do speak of it and someone knows, they're going to say you're crazy. You're crazy. You should have been on medication. People, of course, they want to say when people come into the truth, you stop taking medication. You're trying to get pure and right. You stop taking your meds. I ain't never been on medication in my life.
Now, they don't direct you to stop taking your meds, right?
No.
No, okay. One
more thing, Joe.
Come on, brother. Stick to questions, y'all, all right? The comments run a little long.
In your opinion, sis, are there sisters that are in danger in dealing with this? Like,
are there sisters being abused in it?
Like that are abused and feel trapped and wish they had a voice that are in there, to your knowledge?
I wouldn't say sisters that play my role. I feel more empathy and more sympathy for the wives. Because he does want somebody else and she's not okay with it. You can see the hurt in her face. And some, they love their men. They'll do anything for them. But I mean, they'll tell you there's a lot of trials that come in marriage to a man in the truth. There's pain. So I think I see most of, from my perspective, it's the wives that has more of a burden on her shoulder.
Last question in the back. 2 more questions before we go.
All right, sorry, so I have a real quick question. The passing of Joy Morgan, I wanted to know, did the head of the IUIC or anybody make a statement concerning of Joy Morgan? Meaning, like, did they ever make a statement about the responses of people saying that I.S.U.P. murdered his sister? What were the statements that was made in response to that?
The statements they made for Joy Morgan is that they are very, very sorry about what happened to the young lady. They did get in detail about what happened. From what I was taught, she was messing with a man that was on medication, but I guess he was off, and she wasn't supposed to be seeing him. Again, they tell us women to make sure that if we want to see somebody, if we want to date, go through leadership, because you don't know who's coming in here. We all come in, with sickness and elements, from being in the world and, being lost, and not following the commandments. We're cursed.
Let me help you out, because they are such liars.
Right.
Joy Morgan was raped and murdered by an African who just couldn't control himself when he got hold of her. It had nothing to do with her messing around. She obeyed the rules of that organization. So what they're saying is totally a lie. I just wanted to add that to it. I got another question for you. You good? Go ahead.
So one body, I guess he already got it.
Come. All right. Anybody else before we go? Listen, I didn't even give y'all a shot. No, nobody want to cross over that line. Go ahead, just grab that mic real quick.
Sir, I do have one question. What would be your comment towards sisters that is planning to join I.S.U.P.K? What would be your response towards that?
You said, I'm sorry, repeat that one more time. Can you say it in the mic a little bit more?
Yes, what would be your response towards sisters that's planning to join I.S.U.P.K, and what would be your response towards them?
I would tell her to make sure she doesn't give her information to everybody. I will also tell her to keep her legs closed by all means.
Why would you tell her not to give her information to everybody?
Well, it's just I was betrayed. I thought I was talking to a sister I could trust, and so it's just I wouldn't get close. I wouldn't say. I mean, you're not supposed to stay to yourself. You're supposed to, commune. But I just wouldn't get close to people. I would really. It will be a while before you get words out of me. I'll tell you that much.
Knowing what you know now.
Yeah.
Good question. Go ahead. Is that it?
Okay. Yes, I would. Okay, I would. Say to myself a little bit. I would definitely keep my legs closed by all means.
And you say, damn right. And when you say keep your legs closed by all means, because of the fact, meaning you're not gonna have sex with a man and then the two of you are gonna be necessarily married together forever. So you would keep your legs closed so that you don't get passed around. Is it something like that? Am I missing it?
Definitely passed around, and then I don't want to attach myself to anyone else if it's not my husband, because some people are just not loyal.
And I would think that's kind of like it is in the world. You sleep with a man and leave him, sleep with another, or whatever the case may be. Because they seem to just let a woman go and marry another man quietly, as long as it doesn't get out. Different than passing women around. No different than trying to prostitute them, because that's basically what is going on. They're turning their wives into pimps, who's pimping the other women for the money. And if their husband decide to take a piece of the candy. They don't have a problem with it because that sister's bringing in money. Am I wrong?
Some sisters are like that. I really, like I said, there was a sister who was like desperate because she's about her bag. She's okay. He's good. And she felt like it's not like I was the sister that was trying to get around anyway. So you definitely have to like know your role. But some sisters are not okay with it. And some of the men know that their wives aren't okay with it. And like, they try to keep it hush hush. They'll move you to one school and have the wife at another. I'm not to say it's what I want to say. It's wise, evil wisdom.
Good point.
Yeah.
Point. Let me ask you this: what is the role of homosexuals in the IUIC?
You can't roll like that at all. You got to get right. You can't even sit with us with that spirit.
No, okay. But what about Big Frida?
Big Frida. I'm sorry. She got to stay at home. She got to watch at home.
Big Frida.
Yeah, that's how they do homosexuality. You got to get that spirit off. I mean, there's some people that, according, I'm just playing by ear with class. There's some people who have transformed, but it's a hard spirit to get off. I heard that, it takes a lot of prayer and a lot of fasting. And like, if you get caught in that mess, they gonna kick you out.
Gotcha. So if you have lived that homosexual lifestyle, they'll give you time to get that spirit off of you.
I don't know if they give you time because I never in my congregation. I'm going to say I don't know any gay men.
But now let me ask you honestly.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure by now you've seen the tape where Big Frida was twirling and dancing in the middle of the class, right? Where he was a homosexual Vogue dance. You didn't see that tape? Okay. Maybe you just haven't seen the latest.
Maybe not. I'm not aware. No.
You're familiar with who Big Frida is, right?
Hey, I know Big Frida. She's I think there's a song girls be dancing to. I don't get down like that nowhere. I got younger sisters who's like in the world, but I don't keep up with it because it's nasty. So
it's a song that, okay, I don't understand the correlation between the song and him.
Are you referring to someone as Big Frida within Israelite in Christ?
Yeah, the Big Frida that's in United in the one that's in the organization you left.
Oh, oh my goodness! It just settled. It just set in. Who are you talking about?
Now we get down to the brass tacks.
Oh my goodness.
Now, come on now, don't hold back on me now, sir. You done brought me right to the gates. To the pearly gates. Walk on in now.
Okay, so, all right. So, he takes that to a high offense. High offense. He said that he can be serious, but at the same time, he can enjoy himself. Yeah. I know. I think I know you're talking about really big, our biggest guy.
Yeah. You saw the tape of him twirling, didn't you?
No.
Can you pull up that tape? I'm gonna show you a tape right quick.
Okay.
You might not have seen it, but the world has seen this tape.
Oh Lord.
I'm gonna show you. Go ahead.
In the meantime, while we getting there, it's too wild to bring up that cat, an affair with a transgender.
You remember that cat?
I remember he shot the transgender in the face.
Oh, God.
Are you familiar with that story, sis?
I am familiar with that story.
Man, he was part of the congregation, wasn't he?
Gee, I really don't remember. All I know is it's mentioned as a catastrophe because of disorder and, you know, the lack of self-control. That was mentioned about when we had a teaching about the fruits of the spirit. Believe it or not, that was brought up when we discussed about emotional intelligence and how emotional intelligence also is fruitful. You know, you have to have self-control. I do. Yeah, that was brought up for an example for that kind of matter.
Yeah. Real hypocritical of them to bring that up when that has been going on inside the organization. You got it for me? All right.
So like,
go ahead.
Another thing. So with that being said, if men are against homosexuality in IUIC, are you aware that they actually pose as women on psyops on social media? Meaning they have fake pages where they parade themselves as a woman to do psyops on different groups.
That's crazy.
Yeah, why would a man do that?
I don't have the answers for that, sir. I'm sorry.
Have you heard of it though?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I did hear on Clubhouse. I don't think it was anybody in our group. That there was a woman portraying that she was a man. I don't know if anybody heard about that. But wow, that flipped my wig. I don't wear wigs, but I'm just saying. But no.
Was she a part of the IUIC?
No. Oh, that story. Whew. Yeah, I don't know what camp she was in, but hey, it wasn't I.S.U.P.K. So
We got right now.
Huh?
We got the video right here.
Okay, sis, we're gonna play the video for you, okay?
Okay.
Take a look at this. To when he put the keys down. I'm gonna show you when the demon enters in. He takes on a demon to do this. Okay, wait, go back.
Oh, sorry.
Before he puts the keys down.
Right, the
very beginning. Now watch this. No, that's not the beginning.
Before it might not be on this tape. It's gotta be right there, right?
No, it's when he puts the keys down. That's right after the spin.
On this tape.
Can you find the other one, please? Because you got to see the demon enter into this cat. Like everybody need to see it, huh?
Okay, I'm gonna find it, sir. I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, we'll come back. Your hearts, go ahead. So long.
Sir, I got you right now, sir. I'm bringing it up right now.
Whoever was rubbing his head, it wasn't. It says, have you seen that tape before?
No, I haven't.
Not of us, but of him.
No. I haven't seen that. That looks like him very young, and he when he describes his youth, he does say that he wasn't easy to build up to where he is now. He does claim that he was flawed, but he's renewed. So
he never explained his flaw.
No.
Let me show you the fullness of his flaw. Let him play that for a second. Hey, I'll play that for a second. Good. You got it up?
I'ma stop weeping. I'ma stop crying. The one I struggle, but daddy knows. Hallelujah. When I'm hurt, my podcast.
What was that? Hey sis, would you classify that as a demon?
He should definitely be standing and being masculine. You gotta be careful how you behave in the public eye.
So you would, and in the privacy of your own home. And so you would consider that feminine, not masculine.
Yeah, there's some femininity in that. Yeah.
I'm glad you said it, sis, so I don't have to be accused of falsely accusing a homosexual of being a homosexual. So your honesty was just absolutely refreshing.
I even think if he would have did it in front of the females, would have looked different. But when we are feasting and celebrating, they keep it separate, and that's I see. It looks bad.
Yeah, it let all the juice out. No women being in the room. All the sugar came up to the top. Yeah. That's what's really going on in there. Go ahead. Question? Go ahead, sis. Yes, sis. The sister has a question for you.
I'm
Go ahead.
Shalom, sis.
Shalom.
Yeah.
I also seen a video, this is a while ago, of Nasty Nate. He was chopping his butt in the air, mimicking a dance that most women would do.
I haven't seen that.
You didn't see that either? Y'all missing a lot in I.U.P.K.
We can't even clap around. We're very careful how we move our bodies because we don't want to seduce nobody. And
well, we did an excellent twerk job in the congregation, and we're gonna help him out with it. We're gonna show it to you. Take a look at it, and just so you know, I'm showing you these things so that you can know that how you handle. I mean, what you've come out of was really a horrible, horrible, lust-filled, homosexual-led, diabolical, manipulative organizations. That they are destroying brothers and sisters on a daily basis. I just wanted to add that into you. All right. Play another tape for you, and I got 2 more questions coming my way. How many you? All right, just let me know. Go ahead, Op. You up first.
Shalom, sis.
Shalom.
My first question is how long was you in the I.U.I.C.?
I want to say for 1 year watching at home, and then a year actually in the congregation.
Okay, so within a year, you had plenty of conversations with multiple sisters. Am I correct?
Correct.
Have the conversation ever came up that they joined the I.U.I.C. because they teach against multiple wives?
No. Believe it or not,
let me ask you.
I talked to a lot of women who were actually like related to people in there, who had a cousin, and that's why they were there.
Let me ask you a question. What, do you perceive I.U.I.C. as an organization that has one public figure, one public appearance, and one private way of doing things?
I have to say, yeah, they do. I'm not going to that. Yeah, they do.
That would explain. Good.
Son.
Yeah, I'm coming to that in a second. Sister?
Shalom, sis.
Yep, she is.
I just want to say I'm definitely sorry that you didn't experience the sisterhood that you experienced in the I.S.U.P.K. because it's amazing over here. You had mentioned that the women are separate on feast days. Why is that?
We sit separate from the men, of course, because there's of course there's clean and unclean, but at the same time we're women, and we don't want to distract the men. And of course, when women also have children, so we don't want to, distract them with the babies or our attire. I guess we keep ourselves fully covered, but like we don't want to tempt our men to, step out of the word and not focus, especially on the Sabbath or in the feast day.
Big Frida couldn't do that dance with all that distraction.
Right.
Kids running around and all that. I would have messed up all that. Yeah. Just so you know, sis, that's an abomination from the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have to separate on feast days. Matter of fact, that's the time for us to come together.
That's right.
And on feast days, we don't have to separate the men from their children. The time that you separated enough doing the work.
Right.
So when we come together on feast days, that's the time to celebrate all our families and kids and children. You understand? Really, just so you know, that's a homosexual's way. Like a homosexual would do that. He would separate all the women so that the men can go into all the homosexual things that they want to do, which is why we have tapes of all this, these brothers dancing and among the male comment. Like, why would you even want to dance in front of a bunch of males? Like, that's homosexual in itself. Like, you twerking and twirling in front of men, knowing that the men are separate from the women and the children, that in itself is a completely gay thing to do.
Right. I think, from my impression, I thought it was weird.
You had good insight.
Yeah, but I understood what they were saying. They don't want either the younger woman to tempt the younger men, or
even that is all of that is psychological manipulation. A younger woman can tempt a young man at the bus stop. A younger woman can tempt the man at the grocery store.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to separate the women because you don't want the young men in the organization to go after the women. Right. Why don't you want young men to go after women in the organization? You want them to go get women on the outside? Or maybe you want to make sure that they're undistracted so you can twirl in front of them. Show your sexual prowess in front of them. Or send dick pics in the sorry for the kids. In the text messages, like he's been known to do in the past. Like, all of the lies, sis, they just it's going to take you a while to decompress from all the lies and games that they have filled you with. But that's a lie. All of that is. Say that again.
So did he get kicked out? Because I can't. I wouldn't dare send my friends on the Telegram. No.
For the twirl. So you saying?
I'm shocked that the dick pic.
Oh no, it was the bishop. It was the bishop that sent his picture of his phallic to the entire congregation.
Right.
It was the bishop. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. His phallic is in effigy across the internet, available for all to see. A great number of that congregation left after they got those pictures.
Right.
They packed up and attempted to create a new organization, which I don't know if it still exists, but they attempted to do it because they were so appalled at the fact that he did it. And let me tell you something, that's what homosexuals do. When they dealing with a congregation of men, homosexuals seek out other homosexuals. You know what I mean? That's what happened in the church. Nobody knew what was going on in the church until Donnie McKirkland turned around and made the song, "We Fall Down, We Get Up." Next thing you know, what are you talking about? And he went on Oprah Winfrey and told the world how in the church, the down low started. Once again, where the Lord's is, so Satan is close by. That's why you brothers and sisters, you got to be the gatekeepers on the truth. Because if you're not, predators will come in here and they will begin to prey on your doctrine. They will want to change everything in here like they did in that organization to be homosexual. The homosexuals came in quietly and started building up their posterity inside the churches. Now the churches is basically a homosexual organization. That's exactly what's going on in IUIC. Everything is hush hush. Everything is quiet. Meanwhile, the men is being slowly separated from the women. You understand? Women being passed around, which means they're being lowered, like as though they're worthless and nothing to protect and watch over. Right. And as a result, the proliferation of homosexuality is going on in the church. And Nate had long been suspected of homosexuality back in the 80s. And he was being protected by Marshall, who was over the school at the time. And he was trying to be merciful on him. You know what I mean? That's why now today that I'm in charge, no homosexual is allowed in here for no reason whatsoever. You get caught homo. You got to go. You know what I mean? Because that is a diabolical spirit that seeks to get in anytime you come trying to come close to the Lord. Part of coming close to the Lord is humbling yourself. Right. And the problem with humbling yourself is it makes you vulnerable to predators. The Lord said, Christ said this, I send you as sheep among wolves. The wolves are watching. You come out of the world, you gritty and hard because you didn't have to deal with the world. But now you come into the truth and try to be a brother or try to be a sister, you now become a little vulnerable because you open up a little bit. But Christ said this, be wise as a serpent, but harmless as a dove. And that's what we're supposed to become. Right. So that's all that is, sis. I know you don't know, but I'm telling you from 40 years of experience, all you see and all them little rules and we got to be this and we don't want the young men distracted and we don't want this and want that. That's homosexual talk. That's quiet homo talk to get the men to be freed up. Homosexuals do it all the time. They send pictures of their phallic out to a bunch of people just to see who gonna bite on this. Mm-hmm. Who gonna come back to them and say, hey man, what you doing, man? So he can find out who the homosexuals in the group and he can begin to work with them. Question.
Like, so if I could, courtesy Captain Mama Quad, when we said Chicago is that he got that bug. They got that bug.
Then he got that bug. That's good. That's good. And that's why Esau is working so hard so that you don't label homosexuality as wrong. You understand? Like he's trying to get you to normalize it. He's trying to get you to not be highly offended when you see it. When your natural instinct is confusion when you see it. Even a child, if you bring a man in here dressed like a woman, and the child looks at that man and then all of a sudden he hears that masculine voice that's dressed up like a woman, he gets confused. Right, he begins to look at the homosexual, trying to understand what it is he's seeing. Because that's his brain trying to differentiate what am I looking at here? Because his brain is already programmed to know the difference between male and female. Right. That's why kids learn mommy and daddy without you having to even tell them. Right. They'll just learn it from the rip because that's the natural order. So it destroys them to bring that in. So just to finish up, religions do that to our people. Right. And all these religions, they insert these things in them. But it's not going to happen in the I.S.U.P.K.
That's right.
We're not having it. So since you'll learn over time that what these things are. All right. Couple more questions. I'm gonna play the tape. Yeah, let me play the tape. Let me play the tape and I'll come back and get y'all questions, all right? Okay. Go ahead, check it out.
You ever see this? I can't do the wall because I ain't built like they are. You ever see this wall they got? With the buttons tight? That's the ostrich wall! You ever see this? I can't do the wall because I ain't built like they are. You ever see this wall they got? With the buttons tight? That's the ostrich wall!
That tape. Here's how you know a homosexual. He said, I can't do the walk. But why did he say he can't do it? He didn't say, I'm not a woman.
Because he said he's not built like they are, sir.
In other words, if he was built like them, he could do it. He ain't say, I'm not a woman, so I don't know how to do this.
Right.
But he thinks I could do this if I was built like him. That's homosexuality. And well hidden. It's well hidden. Every homosexual is not flaming.
Right.
You know what I mean? Many of them are very quiet about it and all of that. And that's what's going on here. And I feel sorry for them brothers because I guarantee you there's just like it's a host of young women being passed around in that organization, I guarantee you that they have a good, healthy congregation of young homosexual men that they are involved in as they move about. Oh yeah. Give it a little time, it'll come out. Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? I could understand he probably also saying he can't do the walk because he tried to do it before in the mirror.
Yeah, you're right. Why did he feel like he had to demonstrate?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he really wanted to do that to be one. That's what's really going on. And somebody asked that hand, brother in the back had his hand.
Hey, Salakia, General. I just want to know what's the significance of the color purple?
Christ. They say they came up with the color, they agreed with the color purple because of the robe that that was put on Christ when he was hung.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you notice that that's also done by T.D. Jakes?
Right.
Was done by Creflo Dollar.
Right.
Was definitely done by Eddie Long.
Right.
It's done by many preachers. And whenever they wear the purple robe, you also notice that it is a long robe to the ground. That is a total homosexual uniform that is going on in that congregation. All right. Somebody over here had their hand up. I'll bring it back to you. Somebody over here had their hand up. Nobody. All right. Let me get to the brother in the back. Go ahead.
Carl Khan, General.
Go ahead. Please.
Shalom, sis.
Shalom.
Regarding I.U.I.C., have you ever heard them sending brothers from I.U.I.C. into the I.S.U.P.K. to get information or to cause strife?
No. I was informed that we had actual loyal people in the congregation and they actually turned around on them and started reporting for you guys.
Wow.
Yeah. That's classified. Yeah, some of that did take place in the I.S.U.P.K. But you know, it was pretty terrible that they tried to go and spy on us.
Right.
You know what I mean? Instead of they could have just asked us, you know what I mean? But we had no problem with that. That covers you on that. Who else had their hand up? Oh, you got more from Atlanta? That was it? Come on up here to the front and come to you next. Somebody else had their hand up? Somebody else? Okay, let me just get the bar off. Go ahead. Sis, I want to thank you for hanging with us. We well past the time now, and I appreciate it. If you're okay with it, we'll let the brothers and sisters ask you a couple more questions. Did you have your hand? You good? Okay. All right. Thank you, sis. Go ahead, Oh wait, you got another Atlanta?
Please. My question's gonna pivot.
Go ahead. You take it out.
With everything, you know, with all the Salakias, with all the questions that we asked and everything that you learned in I.U.I.C., you know, I.S.U.P.K. April 12th, we'll be having our Passover coming up. Should we expect to meet you there, sis?
That's up to my brother.
Let me just say this: if you want to come, you're invited. You can come on down.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So my next question, and this will be my last question.
Go ahead.
Are you aware of also a class taught by Nate where he instructs some kind of a sexual abuse to a woman if she didn't want to give it up to her man? Mm-hmm. Are you aware of that? And if you have seen that, is that a deterrent to you, or are these videos kept in the dark from sisters to not see? Because I would think that would be a deterrent for sisters after they saw that kind of video.
I'm very attentive to a lot of the wifely teaching videos. They're like one of my favorites. I haven't witnessed anything abusive. But I do they do tell us to give it up. Especially if you're married. If you're married, the bed is not defiled. And you shouldn't be withholding your body from your man, because that's just scripture. But I haven't witnessed or heard of any threatening videos. I mean, if anything, they like to call us the ostrich, or or the battle house woman, the wicked lady. I mean, the names go on and on if you're not, being subject to your husband.
Okay. Go ahead.
And Salaki says, I just want to ask, last year, I think it was last year, or maybe even the year before, there was a video, I pretty much was last year, where the sisters had an event where they were dancing and doing like kind of praise dance almost. And dancing with them was what was clearly a transsexual Edomite man that was in the midst of them. And at the end of the video, the sister that was the head of them said that she wanted to thank the brother for being so courageous to come out and dance with them. Are you aware of this video or this event that happened? And if you're not, how do you feel about them allowing a transsexual Edomite to come and dance amongst their sisters and be amongst the children that are in that congregation?
That I haven't seen that, and that sounds crazy, because that's a whole different spirit. That baffles me. That's wow.
Any other questions?
Yes.
Anybody? Who's speaking? Hey, what's going on, Trinidad? You got to call it out. Okay, go ahead, Trinidad. You have a question for the sister? Come to you.
Just one question to the sister, because
Shalom.
Sis, can you understand him?
No, I can't. I'm sorry.
So what? You got with the mic.
Yeah.
Pull it away from you a little bit. Pull the mic back a little bit. Yeah. Try now.
Yeah, Shalom, sister. You understand me now?
Perfect. Go ahead.
Just a quick question, sis.
Keep that mic away. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, just a quick question, sis.
I'm listening.
So a lot of our sisters, any Caribbean as well, will be looking on, right? The question was asked earlier on, what you would advise a sister, in joining the I.S.U.P.K. You just have follow-up question on that, because our other sister,
he said, what would you tell us that wants to join the IUIC? You just kind of follow up from the earlier question.
Okay. I would tell them to listen to what I.S.U.P.K says first. The home of the truth. Do your research. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That was a great answer, sis. Sis, you got a question? You need a mic. Somebody? Microphone? Say again, you.
I'm listening.
No.
Shalom, sir. I just wanted to ask you. I was just curious where you're studying with the I.S.U.P.K right now. So what are you doing now? Why are you studying it? No one?
I'm not studying right now. If anything, I keep in practice of my routine of my 4 chapters, and consistently being praying. I'm not studying right now with under anybody.
And sis, let me ask you something. What are your 4 chapters? What is that?
It's well, you can develop your own routine. You just have to make sure you keep God's word flowing, just to keep your mind focused. You can start wherever you want. You can also take notes wherever you want, or what you remember. Sometimes leadership will ask you, look, what was your chapter? So what did you learn? But I'll do Old Testament, to get some history. I'll do some of the New Testament, to learn the walk of Christ. I might even get into the Apocrypha, to get some wisdom. It depends. And sometimes I pull out the Psalms, because there's 100 books in there, over 100 books in there. So you gotta sometimes grab onto that.
Let me ask you this. I heard at one time that Nate's wife had a program for sisters coming into the IUIC. Is that true?
Sometimes most of the senior sisters, they do lead sister circles. This is underneath a man's authority. That no woman can teach without the authority of a man.
Gotcha.
I am going to say that. Now, will a woman lead it? Yeah.
But women do teach.
Yeah, I want to say mentor, coach, but it's not. Everything has to be approved through a man. I've seen it live in action where a woman was about to start, it got cut off because it wasn't approved by so and so. So everything has to go through the men. We follow the men.
Okay, but so a sister could be approved to teach a class in the school?
I wouldn't say it's a full class. It would have to be like a session. We don't no, we don't have classes. We don't got classes. It's like a brief session. And you can ask questions. This can be questions about your household, questions about your marriage, even physical, about your health and body.
But in this session, it would be approved, and then there would be a sister who would break down the scriptures in terms of what it is the other sisters should be learning.
As far as breaking it down.
In other words, what is this approved session consist of? Been approved. What does it consist of?
Okay. It consists of
meaning what is the role of the sister in charge? That's what I'm getting to. Is she teaching? She in an authoritative position like the podium?
No.
Okay.
All heads have to be covered. We're all seating. No one's sitting above nobody.
Okay.
Not unless she's coming up to a person asking a question, or say we're like playing a game. But everything goes through the leadership first. So say if they were doing a teaching about health and hygiene and bringing out scriptures, it goes to the men first, then it comes out to us.
Okay, but who would be teaching it about the health and hygiene? Who would be actually pulling those scriptures?
The woman.
The woman would be, so there would be one specific woman, or everybody would be able to pull a scripture on?
There'll be about, I'm going to say maybe 3 or 4.
Okay, so 3 or 4 elder sisters would work together to pull these scriptures out to younger sisters.
Yeah.
I got you. And they would break down what it is the scripture says about.
Right.
Got you. Yeah, that's a rough one. It's a rough one. Well, since we took up so much of your time, you gave us so much good insight.
Not a problem.
I ain't get to anything else. I'll be back on the round for everybody listening. I'm coming on the round table of truth this Friday. And guess what? Damn right. And I'm bringing to the Midwest Monster Mayhem and his team the video of them asking white children the dog question. Ooh. When they asked them about the black-white dog, we gonna see what white children said. And if this don't knock you off your socks, I don't know what's wrong with you. Because this video right here gonna rip your guts out and put them back inside you. Okay, so join me Friday with Captain Mauquad, the Midwest Monster of Mayhem, on his show, Round Table of Truth, with all his team. We gonna break that joint down and really show you the mind control that's been on us since slavery. Princess, how do you pronounce your name again?
Amana.
Amana, I want to thank you so much for being so courageous to joining us. Okay?
Not a problem.
I also want you to know, if you desire it, this is up to you, of course. If you desire it, that I have an excellent team of counselors in the I.S.U.P.K. You understand? Right. General Muhammad will definitely get with you if you want to and really decipher the lies from the truth and get you on the right track. We always attempt to help, those among us. If you're having a financial issue, a domestic issue, a homeless issue, an issue with food, clothing, anything like that, we want to give you an open invite to let us know, and we will attempt to reciprocate all the goodness that you spread with us tonight, okay?
Thank you.
You're most welcome. You take care of yourself, and I hope to talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bless you. Thank you so much. You have a good night.
You too, sis. Shalom.
Shalom.
I want to invite everybody to pay their tithes. Give me my goddamn money, damn it. You understand? You see how hard we working up in here, man? You see what we trying to stop? You see this nonsense here? You twerking, homos. What's this? Passing women around? You see all this going on out here? That's right. This is why the I.S.U.P.K. is some hard-headed niggas that don't flex off of the mark. Right. It'll take a lot of work to do this the right way. Big shout out to all camps, all captains, officers, generals, troopers, and all the sisters across the country who have held this truth down against all odds. You've been here since 1969. Support the truth, man. I'll see you again this Friday on the Round Table of Truth podcast. I'm doing Chicago, y'all. I'm all up in it. He always promotes. Look, here you go. Come on. Oh, I thought you was close. Okay, General Q will be in the building, holding us down. I thought you was hitting me with another promotion. We also going up to what reservation? The Menominee Reservation here in Illinois. We're going up to there Saturday, man. We'll be filming it live. That'll be an amazing. Big shout out to Captain DeBar Moth holding it down with his team out in Milwaukee, doing it up. Other camps will be joining us, man. Hey, man, I'll see y'all next time live on the UPK, fam.
Shalom Israel. Join us this Friday on the Round Table of Truth podcast, hosted by Captain of 13,000 Mauquad, as we have a special guest, Commanding General Yahanna. That's right, Commanding General Yahanna going to be live on the set in Chicago on the Round Table of Truth, alongside 6th SEAL General Kabbalah Mock, also going to be in the building on the panel, getting it in with the IS-U-P. Check us out, Israel, live this Friday at 8 p.m. Central Time on the Round Table of Truth. I'll see you there. Shalom.
Gangster about that. You know what I think I know, Mayab? I think the only real gangsters left are Commanding General Yahanna.
I think
we're the last gangsters on earth.
Gotta watch that.
We got 5 women. We're always in a nightclub all the time. We're with the brothers. We're drinking liquor, and people are terrified of us.
Yeah.
I think we're the last gangsters. I think there are no gangsters, but the Israelite school of UPK.
Are you black? Take a look in the mirror, man. Look, man, you got a legitimate beef, all right? But it ain't with us, okay? Are you black? Hey, look, man, don't ever question the fact whether I'm black. Now, I bet you niggas do think y'all white. College don't mean shit. Y'all niggas. And you gonna be niggas forever. Just like us. Niggas.
It was never what a fake nigga think. It was always what a real nigga think.
I made my name up in these streets like a real nigga. I keep them pistols in my Jeep like a real nigga. I make sure all my homies eat like a real
SHALAM means Prince for Power. That's all it means. A Prince for Power. Why do you think you act like princes, man? A prince is royalty, man. Even our destroyed state in America, we still act like royalty. Right. Brothers with rock gold chains, gold earrings, gold fronts, man. That's all Southern people that's royal. A royal heritage, a royal bloodline. That's who we are naturally. We just don't know it.
Shout out to Yahanna out in Chicago with these badass sweatshirts. I look good as shit in it. Goddamn it. Y'all should go get one. Badass sweat hoods. U.P.K. Nigga University.
Hoodie season. Used to pick a switch before I took a beat. Now if we get the stick, it ain't what you thinking. Just feel like hoodie season. It's hard on my sleeve. Cold.